American Redact posted a Bill Burr video. He just keeps making it worse. So we'll see. Bill Burr is apparently defending himself when it comes to going to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I'm going to shut up now. There you go. There's for your fucking news cycle. Now go twist all of that around. But just remember, there was women at the show. 4 hotties down
Oh, there were women there.
front. Faces were not covered. Smoke shows down front. 8,000 citizens.
Wow. So you went and you performed at this event for the extremely wealthy for the Saudi government. But guys, you don't understand. Women have rights there. You can see their faces. Yeah, 8,000 citizens and 4 women.
Is what I performed in front of, and then I had the teachers looking at me while I did it. And I also connected in a country that had just been hit by 2 fucking missiles, 3 missiles, whatever the fuck it was. So, so that's why I'm not answering your Just hang in there for a minute. And when the bots get everybody mad at something else, I'll answer any and all fucking questions.
Oh, really? Well, I think the way that you rolled this out, I think the way that Bill Burr rolled out being like, actually, there were like 4 hot women, and I could see more than just their eyes. Also, heads uncovered. You could see their faces. Could you see their hair? What can you answer later when people aren't supposedly paying attention? Like, people were always, no matter how long you wait, if you wait longer, then people are just gonna bother you more.
This week, instead of acknowledging the core issue that his fans had with him performing there in the first place, he actually just conveniently framed himself as the victim, centering his narrative around how he feels misrepresented in the situation, saying that people are going to spread straight up lies and make the whole thing worse than it actually was. And as you may have guessed, his fans found that to be extremely out of touch, because it tiptoes around what people are actually criticizing him for. Like, people are mad because a guy who built his reputation railing against corporate greed just took a fat paycheck from one of the most repressive regimes on Earth. Instead of addressing that, though, he's acting like it's all internet gossip and online outrage.
Hey, what's going on? It's Bill Burr, and it's time for the Monday Morning Podcast for Monday, August 6, 2025. What's going on? How what?
This is not sounding very hinged so far.
Oh, Jesus, how's it going in your neck of the woods there? It's not going so good in my neck of the woods. I'll tell you that. The sanctimonious is sanctimonian.
Hey, Flippin'.
Key word on the monian. Oh, Jesus. All right, here's the deal. You guys are asking me, obviously, a ton of questions about the absolute controversy, right? Here's the deal. I have no problem answering any of them. The problem
Yeah, he's trying to sound like he sounds like he's trying desperately to pretend as if he's not sweating, yes. Like, I can hear the slipperiness of his skin. The cold sweat.
Have is after I answer them, it all gets clipped. And then once it gets clipped, then...
Here's the thing. You just got to mush all your words together. This is the thing. You have to speak. When you say what you want to say, you have to say all one continuous flow, so then no one can clip. You want to say something, just mush it all together real quick. So it sounds weird. Sounds clipped if someone tries to clip it. But in Bill's case, I don't believe there's anything he could say that would excuse him in the way that he wants to be excused. He just wants everyone to leave him the fuck alone.
And the lies start getting told, or they start shaping it and making it this and making it that. So...
You know what he should do? Then he should sit down for a conversation with someone else.
No, I'm sorry. Well, no, because they care so much. That's right. Sorry, not because they're just making money. But I do have to tell you, this is fascinating because I've never been in the middle of one of these fucking things. And my whole life when I watch the news, not every fucking news stories, but there's been a lot of shit where you watch it going like, yeah, I don't know, kind of seems like they're kind of fucking... So to finally be in the middle of it...
Kind of what? They're kind of, what? What was that? Kind of like, what? That's another thing suspicious people do, is that they talk around the thing. You look at the substance of what they're saying, you're like, oh, they have not actually, said what they're talking about the entire time. I think he's out of touch. A lot of these people, now that they're rich, they have different interests. They see the world differently. And they don't want to have to deal with discomfort. And they think that they are clever and can, and they're used to being able to, smooth things over with other people.
The level of, straight up lies is just, it's wild. I'll be honest with you. I've been off the internet for like a fucking month, but just the people have been sent. It's funny. You get off the internet and people still send you shit. These stories of like there was no women there. He just performed to the Royals. By the time they're done with this shit, they're going to say I went over there and did a one-on-one show in a fucking tent staring at my toes and then I left.
No. Definitely what people don't want from you is you to go on your microphone and start saying how actually it seems pretty goddamn free over there. Actually, I didn't see anyone being oppressed at this like basically royal event that I went to. Oh, they didn't, all the people there must be rich. I didn't see a single poor person at the event. All of these guys, they're falling out of the mouth of comedy like rotten teeth. That's just what it is.
The reason people are upset with Bill Burr is because he accepted money directly from the government there, the same regime that's known for executing journalists and criminalizing homosexuality. Like, this is a country where women only recently gained the right to drive, but still face arrest for what they wear or for speaking out online. So when Burr gets on his podcast and shrugs it all off, telling us to relax because there were women there, is just beyond tone deaf and insulting. And fans are extra disappointed because Burr was supposed to be the everyman comic, the guy who stood up for normal people and called out the powerful for exploiting everyone else. So to just throw
we'll do that
all
next,
away for $1.5 million to accept Saudi state money directly or indirectly just to do an
and also $1.5 million. And all these guys, these fucking all these like supposed comedians, they don't even do good stand up. All the people that are popular because they have podcasts that we liked or that Joe Rogan promoted. That's it. It was never about the stand up. The stand up was like, people just going and like meeting any other YouTuber, podcaster, whatever. How many of these fucking performers, these stand-ups, or writers, singers, creators, whatever, will go out there and be like, here's this crazy thing about me, lol. And then we're all like, lol, that would be so crazy if you weren't kidding. But then they're not kidding. Don't they get tired of standing up? Well, it doesn't look like they're doing much standing.
An hour of sanitized stand-up under censorship rules, it's the kind of move that completely undermines his persona.
Once again, I performed in an arena over there.
Persona is also interesting. Like ultimately, like we are who we are, but we choose who we want to be. We demonstrate who we are by making our choices. So whatever kind of person you think you are, it's just hypothetical until you actually show it.
In the round, there was 8,000 people at the show. Okay? It was citizens. And then they had diplomats sitting down front in a nerve-wracking way for the performer to make sure that, you didn't talk about the 2 or 3 things that they said that they...
Or are they there because they are confident you'll stay in your bitch-ass place? And they're just enjoying watching you be a little performing monkey. Yeah, 2 or 3. What are those 2 or 3 things, Bill? What are the 2 or 3 things?
Negotiated down.
So he's like he's like, it wasn't that bad, but also I was so scared too. I was also a victim. I'm a victim of me too. But yeah, no, I mean, I used to be a fan of all of these like podcasts and stuff, and I swear these people, we engaged in different ways, like, obviously the further you go back, but also they were not so rich. I think that's really, they stopped struggling, however much they might have struggled before, but they like got the class distinction got too far apart.
Once again, as I said before, whoever put together the comedy festival and everything, what it did for freedom of speech over there, because like...
What did it do for freedom? What did it do for freedom of speech? What's that?
Before it started, you couldn't talk about all of this stuff, and then they whittled it down to just that. And that is how, if you truly care about stuff like that, you gradually move towards something more positive. All right?
Bitch. He's like, yeah, when we got there, you couldn't see anything. But then we just stretched it a little bit. We just gaped the hole a little wider. Now you can fit even more potential, not at all actually subversive things
Burr somehow trying to shape his performance in Saudi Arabia as a step towards free speech, which is just completely ironic, since it was directly after he admitted that he was terrified of performing for the diplomats sitting in the front row, who absolutely place censorship rules on the comics' acts. I mean, I'm sure you've seen it already, but one of the comics who was set to perform there actually canceled on them and then leaked the censorship contract they sent her, and it had exactly what you'd expect. Comedians weren't allowed to ridicule or embarrass the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the royal...
Yeah, based, what's her name? I mean, you could say her name. That'd be cool. Yeah, she's a comedian. I mean, she could say it.
Comedians weren't allowed to ridicule or embarrass the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the royal family, or any religion, and were told to submit set lists for review. So when Burr frames that as progress towards free speech, it just sounds ridiculous. It's like claiming you're expanding free speech while performing under the supervision of a government that imprisons people for using free speech. Like this is the same government that once sentenced a woman to 34 years in prison for tweeting about women's rights. And now they're hosting a comedy festival, one that purely exists because they want to look modern to the West while still silencing their own civilians. So yeah, when Bill Burr talks about how the festival was a positive step, it's hard not to roll your eyes, because what it actually was propaganda, and he walked right into it. And then just to make things worse, he actually throws another comedian who performed there under the bus, after mentioning that she was openly gay, which the Saudi government probably didn't even know until now, even if she was open about it publicly elsewhere.
In 33 years of stand-up, I've never seen anybody with bigger balls, and I'm not going to say the name of the comedian, even though you're going to figure it out, but I'm just trying not to get anybody else this fucking shit coming at him. Went on.
They're so progressive, they even let a gay woman there.
They're openly gay. And in the middle of the set, two of the diplomats got up to go to the bathroom, and this person said, "Hey, where are you going? Are you going to go on Grindr?" I mean, I've seen them all.
Truth to power. Speaking truth to power.
I've never seen anybody. It's like I don't have the balls to say that.
Doesn't seem like you have it for much.
That her own people came at her and all of that. It's just, it's disgusting. It really is. Is
it disgusting? This is giving me vibes of like, YMS being like, those people who are disgusted by people who have sex with dogs disgust me.
And really confusing to me.
Did he cry? Did he cry a single tear?
Is what we did over there wasn't even on TV. However, what everybody's complaining about was on TV the week before. On a different event, and nobody said anything.
What was it? It wasn't in Saudi Arabia?
So, and that's the difference between being a billion-dollar conglomerate and being an independent contractor.
And so
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Yeah, no one cares if you did a set on TV. Like, he fucking knows. He knows. But I have a feeling like he seems like he's pretty fucking miserable. I don't know what his deal is, but I feel like he's definitely hiding. He's drowning himself in, like, work and other things. He's just trying to find his way. He's, like, feeling it out. He's like, tell me if I'm getting warmer. Tell me if I'm getting closer to people leaving me alone.
Say that they were pushing boundaries there, trying to take credit for being part of some brave cultural moment, but in reality, all he did there was potentially put her at risk. Because again, this is a country where being gay is literally punishable by death. But anyways, Bill Burr goes on to shift the blame onto other people who performed there a week prior. Almost like he's admitting that he knows what he did was wrong, but he possesses an ego that's too big to take any real responsibility for it.
I don't want to talk anymore about it, but like I said, like I would love to answer all of this stuff. I'm not afraid of any of these questions. I would love to answer them.
That's what they all say. I would love to talk about it, but I have to wait until after the trial. Like how Destiny would have loved to tell us everything, but he just has to wait until after the trial.
I'm really looking forward to that when I do, because I know this is how this shit goes down,
Here's the thing. You could. No one's holding you back. You just could. And people who are gonna clip are gonna clip. But the answer is not this.
Yada, yada, yada is said over here. And then when you run into the person face to face, this is what's always said. Hey, man. Hey, man. Hey, man. How's it going, man? Just checking in on you, man. Are you doing okay?
What a bitter old man.
Man. That fucking bullshit. That phony ass bullshit. But I'm not going to lie to you.
Not going to lie, what?
How do I put this? Do you know when you just sort of no matter what the behavior is, but you just know a person, so you just expect it, so it doesn't bug you. That's kind of how it is. So I sort of expect that. And oh my God,
I hope, John.
You know what I did yesterday to fucking calm me down for the amount of bullshit out there? The fucking roast jokes that I wrote yesterday. It was as an exercise.
Also, it's not. Writing is not easy. Performing, not easy. But the way that these guys will like make it sound like they have been working on, they've been honing their skills, they've been working their craft, they've been sharpening the blade of their special. Like they're talking like it's a ritual. They brought specialists in on. They've been working on this arrangement, this array for decades. They're 45 minutes. And it's like, how is it taking you years and years and years to produce that little content? You know, some people need more writing time than other people, sure, whatever, but it's like, I don't know. It's crazy to me. Not everyone is like quick with the jokes, witty, whatever. I'm not a comedian. But, you know, I feel like there are lots of people that are doing the equivalent of, I mean, Josh Johnson puts out basically a special every single week. Every week. And he's also working on The Daily Show and like hosting it and stuff now, so what's their excuse? He used to be the guy to call this out. Well, that's the thing. There was a time when, you know, they just can't relate to regular people anymore. So it's like he just doesn't relate to us. And that's what happened with a lot of them. They just think that, you know, they're part of the higher order now.
I had a real good time doing that. Okay, but I will toe the line. That the reason that, you know.
So overall, in the
I will toe the line. I had a great time, but I will toe the line. You're just not one of us anymore. To whatever degree you ever were last time you were. It's like these people who are, I guess, good at like maybe complaining about things that bother some people, you know, relatable. They're just, you know, he was like a good at complaining, but now his complaining is just like totally unrelatable to regular people.
He comes across as pretty arrogant and wildly out of touch, like the guy who used to tear apart hypocrisy and ego is now embodying both. And no matter how many jokes he tries to write to calm himself down, or how many times he says people are twisting his words, it doesn't change the fact that he willingly performed for a regime that kills, censors, and terrorizes its own people. And the cherry on top is him trying to laugh it off. And just remember, guys, that this comes just 1 week after he justified his performance there based on the fact that the city of Riyadh had a McDonald's and a Wendy's, which, according to Burr, automatically makes them the exact same as any other Western society.
And we're driving around, and then I'm just like going like, I thought this place was going to be like really tense. And I'm thinking like, is that a Starbucks? Next to a Pete's Coffee?
Yeah.
Next to a burger?
Capitalism. And? Who cares who he performs for, though? Well, this is the thing. He's not the guy. He specifically talks shit about people who go do what he did. It's hypocrisy. He's not like some guy like, I'll do whatever for money. And now he's not even like, he's still coping. He's trying to say like, oh, you know, this performing for the Saudis, it helped with freedom. They were freer for it happening. And no, he's just coping. Like, just own it.
Then we go into the mall because I want to get my kids something. There was a Timberland store. I could have bought Timberlands like I was in Brooklyn, New York. And then there's advertisement for like boxing. And
again, literally all of this. It's just capitalism. It's just these global corporations that are so powerful. It's just been able to run rampant. Okay? That's just what it is. That's why. The corporations, they come in, they take over.
Fucking Formula One and MotoGP and golf and all of this stuff. And I was like, oh.
Just some boneheaded takes.
I was like,
Bill.
oh, okay. Yeah, all right.
Bonesaw Burr himself, that are honestly just destroying his credibility even more so than before.
I thought he knew about corporations. He did, but it's not in his self-interest anymore. So...
Of course, it's making his fans drop like flies. Like, if you scroll down in the comments there, you can already tell how bad this is for him. Like, every single one of them is just piling on top of him. So I just feel like out of everyone on that set list, Bill's gonna feel the repercussions of this performance the most.
Thank you, American Redact.
What's up, comedy fans? I mean, if you're anything like us, you're sick and tired of the PC police telling you what you can and can't joke about. Comedy is about telling it like it is, regardless of what the woke alphabet mafia has to say about it. Standing up for free speech is more important than ever, regardless of whose feelings it hurts. Like, I don't care. I'm just gonna say it. It's
very cool
that Saudi Arabia literally did
nothing wrong
back in 2001 and suffered no consequences whatsoever. What is happening? What I'm trying to talk about here is that Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman is a
really cool guy
who's...
They're being ironic, yes.
Human rights record is...
spotless.
Like, are we just supposed to pretend that back in 2018, the Saudis didn't literally...
host multiple exciting WWE pay-per-view events.
And as recently as June of this year...
hosted yet another exciting WWE pay-per-view event.
Okay, I don't know what the hell's going on here, but I'm just saying, Saudi Arabia is
an emerging global tourism destination.
Okay, hold on a second.
Again.
All right.
Once again, capitalism. It's about money. It's literally, the answer is always money.
Well, that was pretty weird, but
money
I guess
and power,
we fixed
which is
the glitch,
basically
whatever
the same
hell that
thing.
was. Turned out there was like a stack of $100 bills stuffed into the camera, and it was throwing things off. Yes, but we bring up Saudi Arabia and comedy because there's currently a huge star-studded stand-up comedy festival happening in the Saudi capital of Riyadh. And it's got some folks wondering if perhaps these stalwart defenders of free speech are willing to compromise the values they never shut the hell up about if someone writes them a big enough
Literally.
check.
That's the other thing with it being a comedy show and all of these comedians, some of the top 250 professional working comedians today, according to Joe Rogan, who talked about cancel culture, the woke mob, not being able to say things, you know, and now they're like, oh, well.
Like Elliot was trying to explain a minute ago, Saudi Arabia, despite being a close political ally of the U.S., is a human rights nightmare where information and opinions are heavily censored. They don't just ban criticism of the Saudi royal family, they execute people for it. And even if you don't live in Saudi Arabia, they're willing to find very creative ways to lure you to your death and cut your body into little bitty pieces. Also, they did 9/11. Yeah. Never forget that. Now, we're not saying that the U.S. isn't also, and increasingly.
Yeah, I saw Pete Davidson, say something about, I think to Theo Vaughn, about how, they owe him because his dad died in 9/11. He was like a firefighter. Like, well, that's a life choice. That's a life choice if you want to. Couldn't be me, but hey, if you want to think of it like that, yeah, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna be a puppet and be marionettes on their strings.
When the Riyadh Comedy Festival was announced, a lot of folks, including fans and peers,
this is it's a great idea for them to promote tourism.
Of these comedians felt pretty icky about it. Yeah. Here's The Guardian. Billed as the biggest comedy festival in the world, the inaugural Riyadh Comedy Festival, which is running September 26th to October 9th, features some of the biggest names in U.S. comedy. The lineup features Dave Chappelle, Louis C.K., Bill Burr, Kevin Hart, Whitney Cummings, Pete Davidson, Aziz Ansari, and Joe Coy, among many others.
See, when Bill Burr, he was a little no. And that's because, of Bill Burr and his, the stuff that he's said in the past.
Who are all taking their fees directly from the Saudi government. These comedians have already received criticism from Human Rights Watch, which argued in a news release that the festival is an effort by the Saudi regime to whitewash its notorious abuses. This whitewashing comes amid significant increase in repression, said HRW researcher Joey Shea, including a crackdown on free speech, which many of these comedians defend, but people in Saudi Arabia are completely denied. They've also taken flack from their peers. The same guy that's going to pay them is the same guy that paid the guy to bonesaw Jamal Khashoggi and put him in a fucking suitcase, said Mark Maron in a stand-up clip posted on his Facebook. Stavros Halkias, in a conversation with Riyadh headliner Chris DiStefano, said he turned down the gig because he cannot take money from Saudi Arabia, which he finds spooky.
Good job, Stavros. Based. The people actually turning down the money. Based. Tim Dillon, though, is extra pathetic.
Tuesday, Arrested Development's David Cross wrote a searing open letter criticizing comics who were taking part. I am disgusted and deeply disappointed in this whole gross thing, wrote Cross on his website. The people I admire with unarguable talent would condone this totalitarian fiefdom for, what, a fourth house, a boat, more sneakers? A big point of criticism has been that all of these free speech loving comedians apparently had to agree to limit their speech when it came to certain topics.
In the contract.
Comedian Atsuko Okatsuka said she was invited
See? They could say her name.
to perform but turned it down, and she shared some of the contract that she was offered. Content restrictions. Artists shall not prepare or perform any material that may be considered to degrade, defame, or bring into public disrepute, contempt, scandal, embarrassment, or ridicule the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, including its leadership, public figures, culture, or people, the Saudi royal family, legal system, or government, and any religion, religious tradition, religious figure, or religious practice.
Wow, that's a lot of things that you can't say. That's a lot of freedom of speech being stifled
Yeah.
in order to actually participate in this.
Well, it's a
Well-
good thing, though.
It's a good thing that Bill Burr went over there and greased it up, gaped the hole for progress.
Those are never topics of any stand-up comedian set because
Uh-huh.
yeah, that's like, there's rules in comedy, like, don't punch down and don't criticize royals. Yeah, and apparently this applied to any public comments made by the performers even in the lead up to the festival, which some of them might not have known because
Yeah.
and that included comments defending their decision to perform and dismissing criticism about it. Jim Jeffries went on Theo Vaughn's podcast and said, "One reporter was killed by the government. Unfortunate, but not a fucking hill that I'm willing to die on."
Oh my
and then he
God.
vanished from the festival lineup.
Mhm.
As did
Oh, I didn't know that about him. Oh, so Jim Jeffries also a pathetic loser. Imagine being such a fucking loser that you say yes to the blood money and are trying to excuse it, but by even acknowledging that it could be a thing, that it's a thing that people even say, you're nuked. But yeah, I hope they didn't get their money.
Tim Dillon, after saying on his podcast, "So what? They have slaves? They're paying me enough money to look the other way."
What's great about those two in particular is that they didn't get to go and get that money and still made themselves look absolutely horrible.
The worst
Yep.
of both worlds.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and not only look bad,
awesome.
but then like reaffirm
Yeah.
that you're making the decision for completely selfish reasons.
Not only do I have no values and only care about money, I'm also stupid and bad at securing that money.
Yes.
You never know. With comedy, especially the way comedy is these days, it's like kind of the dude broiest it's been since like the late 80s.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I'd say probably the bulk of the audience is
I-
people don't give a fuck. But like, it's still enough
I mean,
people.
Bill Burr's people care. It's kind of like the more high and mighty you've played it in the past, the worse it is for you.
Bill Burr thing. That, out of
Yeah, it
everyone
sucks.
that's on there, I
Fucking
can
Can't say scumbag without comeback. Actually, incredibly true.
No, you dense piece of shit. Like, you fucking cum. Sack.
If I had a fucking oven in my stomach, you could bake bread in my tummy. What the fuck do you mean?
Fuck do you mean?
And then to come at me. At me. So don't you try. Don't you fucking dare. Don't you fucking dare play that game with me. You will lose every single fucking time.
but came back and spoke about it.
It's amazing. They have a McDonald's. Did you know that?
Yeah.
I thought they were all living in tents. Shut up.
they're just like us, and it's like
I mean, the thing that this whole thing, and we'll get
That also, that just shows too, how Bill Burr thinks of people in that region as like basically savages.
remember years ago, I think it was like Whitney Cummings when she was on like just starting to really go off the rails, was like did this fucking sanctimonious ass tweet
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about like comedians are the truth tellers and blah 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 and like listing all these things. And then
Yeah.
like Mark
February 6, 2022, Whitney Cummings says, "Comedians did not sign up to be your hero. It's our job to be irreverent and dangerous, to question authority and take you through a spooky mental haunted house so you can arrive at your own conclusions. Stay focused on the people we pay taxes to be moral leaders." And Mark Maron said, "Maybe add to be funny to the list." Self-important ridiculousness.
she was like, couldn't the Charlie Kirk killer have done this in private?
yeah, it's really fucked up that he killed Charlie Kirk
Oh my God. Whatever. Okay. Thanks, Whitney.
in front of all
Thanks
those
for,
people. He could
thanks for, yeah. Thanks for adding that to the discourse.
Anyways, as for how much money exactly people were getting for this, it's impossible to know, and it's probably wildly different depending on the comedian. But Tim Dillon said they offered him a measly $375,000, while SNL writer Nimesh Patel, who dropped out of the festival due to backlash, said what he was offered was equivalent to 40 shows performed in the U.S.
okay.
Neither
What-
of these guys are huge.
What do we think 40 shows is to him? How much do we think he gets paid per show? I don't know. Curious. But not curious enough to actually like try to really figure it out.
Neither of these guys are huge names, so it's likely that guys like Bill Burr, Kevin Hart, and Dave Chappelle, who already make tens of millions a year performing, were offered significantly more money. Money they clearly don't need,
Body of
but was
cow.
apparently impossible to turn down. Pete Davidson's dad literally died in the 9/11 attacks, and when directly asked about it on Theo Vaughn's podcast, he basically said that once he saw how much they were offering to pay him, it was a no-brainer.
And
Yeah.
and you can tell how much they love being there, especially Dave Chappelle.
Chappelle looks defeated. So many of these people who've seen such great success in their careers, they just look like worn and empty.
Feared returning to the United States because they're going to do something to me so that I can't say what I want to say.
Oh, are they going to chop you up with a bone saw?
No, they might, like, I don't know, say mean things about me on the internet, which is about the same thing. When you're a comedian of my stature, being insulted online feels like they're chopping you up into a million pieces with a bone saw.
Yeah.
One local audience member, referencing ABC's brief suspension of Jimmy Kimmel Live, reportedly marveled that it was surprising to hear Chappelle talk about Charlie Kirk and Riyadh when just recently America canceled Jimmy Kimmel doing the same. He got our ass. He fucking got us.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Slam dunk. Dave Chappelle, like the rest of these guys, has a very particular idea of what free speech means. And it's essentially, I can say whatever I want. You can't criticize me. And if you do criticize me, I'm never, ever going to stop fucking talking about it.
Yeah.
Now, it's not exactly a principled stance. It's self-centered and has very little to do with actual government repression of free speech. So doing PR work for a government that literally executes people for expressing opinions is no big deal because, hey, it's not me they're repressing.
Is a comedy show PR for Saudi Arabia? Yeah. Because, you know, they have the terrible PR right now.
You're talking about that on stage while under contract to not say things the Saudis don't like. Someone with actual free speech principles would have a problem with both of those things. And it's so easy to protest this. You just say no.
Don't go.
Yeah, you say no. But while it's not a shocker that Chappelle and most of these other guys would see no problem with any of this, it is genuinely a bummer.
It sucks so much,
that
man.
Bill Burr is caught up in this and seems to feel no regrets about it whatsoever. Back in a 2016 podcast, a listener asked when he'd be visiting Saudi Arabia, Dubai, or Kuwait, and he answered, I'm not going over there and getting kidnapped and getting my head sawed off on fucking YouTube, which, yeah, okay, kind of ignorant. But much more recently, he said that billionaires should be put down like rabid dogs. But on this week's podcast, he raved about his experience in Saudi Arabia. Here's some of what he said as transcribed by Defector.
Yeah. Yeah. It's he said that shit when he wasn't being offered it.
My whole fucking idea of Saudi Arabia is what I've seen on the news. I literally think I'm gonna fucking land and everyone's gonna be screaming death to America and they're gonna have fucking machetes and want to chop my head off, right? Because this is what I've been
like I said, like he just has like a very I think he thinks of like the entire rest of the world as being like primitive. Yeah. I'm just racist. I think they're just running around with their machetes, thirsting for blood. That's literally, and then he realized, oh no, there are people over there too.
Yeah, it's just weird to be a comedian of Bill Burr's stature and like presumably have traveled the world and still be surprised when like you see a McDonald's in a place you might not expect it.
It's a weird take.
Yeah, they got all that shit. That doesn't really mean anything.
Like he had to talk about it, so I guess that's his take on it. But like
he didn't though.
This is literally the bit where Krusty the Clown becomes like a stand-up comic.
And I kind of get why it might not immediately jump out to them how absurd this whole situation is, but it still fucking sucks when it's someone like Bill Burr who like has a lot of good takes about a lot of stuff and is really funny.
Yeah.
No, I think you know what it is. He just says he doesn't say things that are profound. He just says or used to say things that were a little bit more like everyday complaining. But now his complaints are completely unrelatable to us.
He described performing to a room full of rich Saudis. I'm not gonna lie, it was a mind fuck, right? So I'm standing there waiting to go on, and somebody in the crowd sees me, you know, and he's dressed in all their traditional shit, right? And he just goes, Saudi accent, hey, Bill Burr, I love you. Kick ass, man. And I could just feel, I'm like, these people, okay? They want to fuck.
Like he didn't realize that they were people over there. Hey, stringent. I get it and agree. Cool.
Fucking show. You could feel it. I was talking to the other comics. You could feel it. They wanted you to push, right? It was really fucking exciting. So I go up on stage and I start doing my shit and they're fucking into it. Everything's going good. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm checking out the diplomats as I'm doing this stuff and they're all fucking laughing. All right? So I'm gonna push a little farther. And all of a sudden I start getting in the zone. Well, Billy's feeling loose up there. And my brain just goes, gauge him. And the other part of my brain goes, don't do that. And I said,
you know, it's pretty good, you know, considering it doesn't really sound like he's trying to do too much of an impression. It's a pretty good impression.
Fuck it, I'm gonna do it. So I started doing the joke and it fucking murdered. It murdered.
Oh, it murdered, did it? Interesting word choice there at the end, but huh.
Look, it has to have been an amount of money where he said, despite
so many helicopters,
despite anything that happens from this, I will and my family will be set for life.
Aren't you already? Come on.
I would hope so, because otherwise, like, what's even the point? But yeah, I think they paid him probably extremely well.
Well, and then you look at like how much of the entertainment industry Saudi Arabia owns. They're buying fucking TikTok alongside Jared Kushner. They own or have like large investments in numerous movies.
They bought EA.
The Fox News was covering David Cross's response to it. Like Fox News is defending Saudi Arabia and a bunch of comics who complain about getting canceled all the time to make fun of David Cross, who's going like, "Hey, this smells like shit."
Finding out that Saudi society isn't literally just Al-Qaeda was enough for them to conclude that their shit is totally on the level, and that accepting a truckload of money in exchange for performing for Saudi royals was an important cultural exchange, bringing the world together through comedic diplomacy.
Hey, if comedy can destroy America, it can heal the world.
Isn't here?
Yeah.
Like, you're not facilitating cultural exchange. You're not.
No, you're going
the world together.
Living with a giant check.
Yeah, you're not even like just performing at a club in Saudi, performing at a government-sponsored festival that's literally even happening in the first place to make Saudi Arabia seem cool and promote the shopping district in Riyadh where this club is. Anyway, when multiple human rights organizations are asking you to please don't do this, you should maybe stop and consider if they've got a point, considering they know a lot more about this shit than you do. But comedians of all stripes have got it in their heads over the past few years that being funnier than other people is equivalent to being intellectually superior to other people, and that making people laugh means that you can never be wrong. But hey, as disappointed as we are in Bill Burr, and we are, he at least didn't swallow nearly as much of the boot as fellow comedian Chris DiStefano, who seems to have really understood the assignment.
Oh, God.
And let me tell you something. I'm loving this country so far. I've been here for about 10 hours. I've eaten more food than you can imagine. I want to know what I can do to become a Saudi citizen. My first time ever. I've never even been to the Middle East. I've never been
Shocked.
anywhere near here. I don't even usually even go to the beach. Sand, usually I get weird when it gets on me. But when I'm here now.
Okay.
I literally am like, why didn't I ever want to come here? I wish I would have come here 10 years
Racism. Listen, not that I want to go anywhere, but you know.
ago. I want to hopefully, I'd like to start another family in the Middle East and not tell my family back home. I'd like to live 2 lives.
All right, cool.